The Word of God says that the law is righteous. It is the holy declaration of the righteousness of God. Is there anything wrong with the law? No. The law remains righteous. Never has been anything wrong with it, never will be. You've created this religious world. Oh, I know you call yourself a Christian. I understand that. But you've learned down through the years to overlook so many things. You don't let them bother you anymore.
Very heavily militarized police who are using tear gas and rubber bullets.
What deed have you committed that eats at your soul? What secret do you harbor in your heart? When was the last time the Holy Ghost spoke to you? The Word of God says that the law is righteous. It is the holy declaration of the righteousness of God. Is there anything wrong with the law? No. The law remains righteous. Never has been anything wrong with it, never will be.
All right. What's going on, family? I'm very tired right now, but what's going on, family? Welcome to a special episode of the Tariq Elite Radio live Ustream show. I look very tired right now. I haven't slept. This whole situation out in Charlotte has kept me up all night. I was tweeting all night, but I'm here. I do want to chop it up with the family. Let me get my Ustream room. My chat room is acting funny style. Hold on one second. Let me see. What's up, chat room? I see you. Let me allow links if I can. All right. What's up, Miss Braxton, Curtis, Jabari, Jarib? Yes, I wanted to go live tonight to really chop up with the family. Yeah, to really let everybody chime in and get a lot of stuff off your chest. Because the coon train is running off the track on mainstream news. The mainstream news, man. There's so much bug dancing going on, family. I can't stand it. They've dug into the coon buck dance passive Rolodex, and no disrespect to anybody. I'm not saying anything to disrespect, but I just can't take, CNN, MSNBC, they're running out, they just putting every passive Negro they can find who's praying, begging for forgiveness. No disrespect. I'm tired of hearing that sap mouth bullshit, man. Tired of hearing it. So I want to chop it up with the family tonight and just really let's get some clarity. For those who don't know, there was a shooting last night in Charleston, South Carolina at a church. 9 of our brothers and sisters were murdered in cold blood by a straight up white supremacist. Somebody sent me this shirt. I can't think of the dude. Brother sent me this shirt. I get y'all the name of this shirt. The brother sent me the shirt. Now I was going to make some shirts like this, so this brother kind of beat me to the punch. I was going to make some niggas t-shirts, but the brother beat me to the punch. But, oh man. There was a shooting again. There was a shooting last night, man. They caught the white supremacist who did it. Dylan Roof, that's his name. I knew he was going to be a white supremacist. I knew the whole thing was going to be racially motivated. And this situation, man, it's a major, unfortunate wake-up call. Yeah, he's a white extremist. He's a white extremist. And shout out to everybody in the UK. I just right before I did this, and I wanted them to call me on Skype. I just did an interview for a radio station in the UK. They called me. A lot of the media, they've been calling me today to do interviews and stuff. And I've been letting people know, look, I'm not really talking about praying and all that. So, you know, if that's what you're looking for, you're not going to really get that from me. But I did do an interview with the radio station. From what I understand, it's like one of the biggest radio stations out there because I just did it. And a whole bunch of people just hit me up saying, hey, man, we just heard you on the radio out here in the UK. It's LBC Radio. That's the leading Britain's conversation radio. So that's apparently a real big deal out there in the UK. From what I understand, it reaches all the entire UK. And I was spitting. I had a very interesting conversation with the host. The host we were talking about, he was like, well, what, the shooting, what do you think this is about? I said, well, I think it's about systematic white supremacy. If y'all have it, I would love to. I wanted to record it. Man. I really want people to hear this interview, man. Oh, I'm gonna get on that anti-Christian bullshit in 1 minute, man. Remind me, because they're doing that on Fox News, talking about this is anti-Christian. Let me get on that bullshit. Let me get on all the fuckery in 1 minute. I'm gonna get on all the fuckery that's going on in 1 minute. But I did an interview. I was talking to this UK radio station about 20 minutes ago, and he was saying, we're talking about the situation. I'm like, well, this is white supremacy. All of these shootings and murders and all that stuff. It's just basically the system of white supremacy doing its job. And the news host, and he was, giving a little pushback. He was like, well, do you think that it's just an isolated incident with this Dylan guy? And, he's psychotic. They love to go for the psychotic thing. They love to start talking about mental illness and all that. He ain't that damn crazy. He wasn't shooting white people. He wasn't that crazy. He was crazy to get in his car and try to run and hide out. He wasn't that damn crazy. So I don't buy that whole he was mentally ill. No. And I really want y'all to hear this interview because we were hitting on all cylinders. He was like, well, this kind of situation will dissolve racial harmony in the United States. I'm like, when was there racial harmony to dissolve? When was the racial harmony? What's up, B. Washington? I said, it was LBC. I know. I want to. Did y'all record it, or is there a way to play it back? I would love to hear it and kind of post it up. But I'm like, point to some racial harmony when there's ever been a system in this country that wasn't about white supremacy, where black people and white people actually lived harmoniously. Then he was saying, well, because I kept saying white supremacy. You know me, I'm going for the jugular. I'm not going to get sidetracked and start talking about mental illness and the Illuminati and the MK Ultra mind control. I ain't talking about none of that shit. I'm going for the jugular. And the guy was like, well, Tariq, do you think it's white supremacy? You have a black president. Oh, he played the black president card. Boy, he played the black president card. I said, man, having somebody in a token position whose position does not trickle down to power or progress for the black masses means nothing. We ain't falling for that. We ain't falling for that one. Yeah, that's what I gathered, Solo. I gathered that it was somewhat of a right-wing radio show. I gathered it was somewhat of a right-wing show. But they were real respectful to me. They were very respectful. But it was a very good interview, man. I wish somebody taped it. If somebody taped it or finds a way that we can re-listen to it or something, I really want to get it popping. But the situation, man, is very sad, and I've been warning people for the longest that this was going to happen. I've been telling people for the longest, these white supremacists out here, they're using a lot of code words. They're using code words for black folks. I just recently talked about the whole Muslim outcry that they were going into, talking about they're going to go to these churches with their guns to stand up to the Muslim threat. I said, people, hey, man, they ain't talking about no real Muslim. They're talking about black people, man. They're doing these little test runs out here. I told y'all a few months ago when they were doing these open carry walks in these black neighborhoods, they're doing test runs. They've been doing these little test runs for the longest, just getting it ready so they can start launching all-out attacks specifically at black folks where they don't even have to use code words no more. They've been planning this shit, man. When they were doing those open carries in those black neighborhoods, I'm like, if y'all don't see what these people are trying to set up, man, if y'all don't see what these people are trying to set up, and the way this dude, this white supremacist, this white extremist, he did the killings, he chose a church and a timeline that was very symbolic. See, you know, the white supremacists, they always tell black people, oh, y'all just live in the past, y'all need to forgive and forget. This was so symbolic. They chose that church. It's the oldest church, one of the oldest churches in the South. It was founded by Denmark Vesey, who was a black person who was going to lead a major rebellion against the white supremacists in Charleston. And they were going to start getting in on all the white supremacists out there who had them enslaved. They were going to get it in. So it was very symbolic for them to choose that church and that location. And this was the anniversary of Denmark Vesey. So very symbolic. Very symbolic. And this dude, this white supremacist, he was planning it out. Just like his roommate, he has a roommate who said that he was planning to do something. And you know what's funny? This guy did these murders, and you know, they keep saying hate crime. The news media, they won't refer to this dude as a terrorist, which is what this was. This was blatant domestic terrorism. Not only was it terrorism, because see, the white supremacists, they'll start saying shit like, well, terrorism has more to do with political this and political that. I'm like, if you're targeting a group of people based on race and a politician, because he was targeting the preacher who was a politician. The preacher was a senator or a council person, something like that. So you were targeting a politician. So everything about this is terrorism. But look at the words they use. You see how deceptive the words are? They keep saying stuff like, well, it's a hate crime. But if a black person did some shit like this, he would be a terrorist thug, just like Obama called black people who were uprising against oppression, who were thugs, criminals, terrorists, the whole nine. But with this guy, it's just a hate crime. See, look at the word hate. Hate that's an emotional thing. You see what I'm saying? Hate is emotion. So he just had a little emotional, it was an emotional breakdown. See, watch those words they use. So when you say hate crime, which is basically emotion-based, hate is emotion. So now you can start talking about he wasn't in the right mental state. See, watch these words they use. Watch these words they use. Let me get a couple of calls because there's a lot of stuff I want to go in on this. Phone number is 818-850-5404. And Barack Obama, oh man, he came out and just kind of did a little half-baked. It's to the point now. Black people are just straight up turning against Barack Obama. Now, black folks have woken up. I saw a sister out there when Don Lemon was doing an interview. This sister was in the background like, Don Lemon, you and Uncle Tom Obama's an Uncle Tom. This sister was going off. Black folks have just said, hey, okay, we've said, we've woken up. And when the president starts speaking about issues like this now, it kind of just makes you drop your head like, oh Lord, no, just don't say nothing. It's like he so blatantly don't give a shit about us. It's like embarrassing now. It's just embarrassing to see the president address or non-address this stuff. The way he dances around it, it's like, okay. He was talking about gun. Well, everybody can get a gun. Okay, now they're trying to change the narrative to gun control. Stop, man. Just stop it. They're talking about me now on the LBC. What? Oh, let me see what they're saying. Hold on. Let me see. I think I'm on their page where it says you can listen live. Hold on. Hold on, let me see. I'm elsewhere. Let me see what they're saying. Hold on. It's
people are rioters and looters, and white folk, are just sort of, I don't know, passing by a shop and just so happen to have the thing in their pocket.
Well, I don't know. We had after the London riots, we had the fabulous situation where white people and quite a lot of them were sent to jail for the most proudest moment I had of being British was seeing a white guy go to jail for nicking some mineral water. I thought it was an absolutely fantastic moment for British justice.
And you remember, I believe, a man held out as a great historian, I believe Starkey, almost putting the point that it was a race riot. It was actually propagated by the black folk.
Okay.
Within that,
So basically, it was a brother who was referencing it. Okay. I really want to hear the interview that I did. I didn't realize that they had the streaming on their website. I would have found a way to tape it. But with these people now, they're trying their damnness to change the narrative. At first, before the guy was arrested, and this was clearly, a racially motivated shooting. If people trolling on the internet talking about, oh, it wasn't about race, don't say it's about race, he was psychotic. The dude stood up in a church and said, hey, I'm here to shoot black people. The guy stood up in a church and said, hey, I'm here to shoot black people. And he left one black person alive and told them, let everybody know what I did. So he stopped talking in code. I told people, these white supremacists, they want to get back to a point where they can stop talking in code and just be real about their white supremacist views. They just want to go back to the old days. That's why these white supremacist teachers are out here talking about, well, we need segregation. See, the white supremacist female, she gets emotional. She just says whatever. We need segregation again. Then that white teacher got fired. But they want to get back to a point where they're just not going to use code. They're tired of using these code words. They want to get back down to the nitty gritty. You keep saying that the white supremacy wants a race war, but there is a race war. The race war is going on now. There was another incident where the cops were beating up kids at another swimming pool. We're in a race war. These people who are acting as police officers are race soldiers. You're in a race war. Those are race soldiers. And what these race soldiers do, they attack your weak points. They attack your children and your elderly. Or they'll attack teenagers, black male teenagers by themselves. They attack your weak points. So this is why you got these race soldier, white supremacists pretending to be cops out here beating up little 13 and 14-year-old girls in swimming clothes. They attack your weak points. They attack the people who are least likely to fight back. And this is why that little white supremacist, that white extremist, Dylan, went up in the church. He knew he needed to, if he wanted to launch his attack, and again, I've said this on Twitter, white supremacy is a religion. And this Dylan dude basically just went on a jihad. He just martyred himself for the religion of white supremacy. He martyred himself. He was a loser. He said, look, I know I'm a loser. I ain't got shit going on, but I got this whiteness going on. And let me be a martyr for the other white supremacists out here. And he went on a jihad for the religion of white supremacy. That's why he went up in a church. And that's why he wanted to target the most passive black people he could find, which were church people. He went up in the church. He sat up in that church for an hour during Bible study. And this is why we're going to have to get real about having all these people around us. This is why we're going to have to be realistic about letting certain people around us, man. That whole kumbaya shit, that ain't going to work, man. Hey, we got to get real. So he went up in that church, knew that the people, black people are, especially church black people, are passive and forgiving and welcoming to everybody. Went in there pretending that he was on some kind of missionary mission, like he was some type of missionary, wanted to be around black folks, learn the gospel and all that old shit. Went in there, waited, kind of cased everybody out to see what was up, then stood up and made a statement. I'm here to kill black people. You guys, this is what he said. You're taking over the countries and you're raping our women. I mean, he went full white supremacist. And he started killing people, and he reloaded a number of times. It was just real blatant. And he wanted to let people know what the deal was. He specifically did not want to talk in code. And I said on Twitter, black people, this Sunday, every black church in America should be exercising their Second Amendment rights. All black churches at this point need to be exercising their Second Amendment right. Black people in general, not just the churches. Right now, these people are they're not even playing no more. Ain't no sanctuary no more. When they attack the black men, when they start attacking black children, 12-year-olds, 14-year-olds, then they attack the elderly. That dude killed elderly black people. One of the women was 87. I saw that sister's picture. That sister looked like my grandmother. I'm like, oh, I can't watch none of these pictures. My blood is gonna boil. But one sister was 70-something. These were older black folks he killed. And we still going around with that let's pray stuff. See, let me tell y'all something. That whole let's get in a circle and just pray the bullets away, that ain't doing nothing but empowering these white extremists, family. I hate to say it. I know you want to be the good Christian and all that fake bullshit, which is fake. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say it because I'm not really trying to play games here. Because I've always said we get real Christian-y when it comes to the white supremacists doing stuff to us, but we don't do that with each other. We're not real Christian-y with each other all the time. But again, I think that the preacher of the church was targeted also because he was very vocal in helping out with the Walter Scott situation and getting police officers to wear cameras. So he was very instrumental in that. So he was specifically targeted. But black people, let me say this, man, on the real. All that we just gotta pray all the fucking time, you're making yourself bigger targets. You are making yourself bigger targets. I know you love the Bible and you love the Lord. I love God. You don't love God. I know. But you're making yourself bigger targets by acting passive. These white supremacists don't give a shit about you praying. I've seen every Negro get on TV all day. Negroes have been getting on TV talking about they're going to pray for Dylan. I've seen some Negroes get on TV with my own eyes talking about they're going to pray for the damn shooter. All you doing now is opening yourself up to get another ambush. Cut that shit out. Let me talk to my young people, because I got a young audience. My kids here. Let me talk to my young folks. Don't let your grandmama, your dad, and your parents get you fucked up in the game. Don't listen to them with all that let's just pray the bullets away bullshit. You better go to the man. They talking about we just got to be prayed up. You better get you a gat, and these terrorists gonna get sprayed up. You need to be holding something. If these terrorists, because that's what they are, these terrorists are starting to come up in your church. Not only are they attacking your kids, because when you see black people getting attacked by these race soldier cops, there's always some little white supremacist civilian right there helping out the cops. So they're being deputized. They're getting the green light by the race soldiers. These white supremacists ain't playing, man. And they attacking the weakest people they can find. The weakest people and the most passive people they can find. All that praying you doing, you're being bigger targets. Do you know there was another shooting last night? The media ain't really reporting on this one. There was another church shooting in Memphis. Somebody shot at a black church in Memphis. Now, some people are saying that was probably a copycat crime. Nobody got hurt. But the fact that they did the same thing within 24 hours in two different cities at two black churches, these white supremacists are on a jihad. And the media, they're not piecing all this shit together. There's a lot of shit that they're not telling you. They're not really making the correlation. When this Dillon dude was running from the cops, he went down to Shelby, North Carolina. Now, Shelby, North Carolina, my people out there, they know about North Carolina. That area is a Klan hub. That's a Klan central. There's a lot of Klan out there in Shelby, North Carolina. In Shelby, North Carolina, from what I understand, the Klan, they're so bold, they go door to door passing out flyers out there in Shelby. You dig? So I'm thinking he was going down there to Shelby to kind of link up with some other folks who are white extremists. Do some research about Shelby and the Klan marches and stuff out there. And what's interesting, you see how the media and the law enforcement deal with us. They use a different narrative. They use a different narrative. They use the words hate crime and lone wolf. Oh, he was a lone wolf. They don't want to use terrorists because, see, when you use terrorists, now you're going to have to implicate all the other groups that's associated with this person. And they don't want to start implicating all of these white supremacist groups. They kind of deal with these white supremacist extremist groups with kid gloves. I saw this Dillon dude had these patches on his jacket that were basically some South African apartheid supporting patches. So this guy he knew his white supremacist views. He was a real student and religious convert of white supremacy. And what's interesting also, some of the news outlets, they were referring to this Dillon dude as a child, as a kid. He's 21 years old. Now notice with Trayvon Martin, they referred to him as a man. That's why Zimmerman got off, because they made it seem like Trayvon Martin was this big, strong man, 17-year-old man with this superhuman Negro strength, beating up Zimmerman to the point where he had to shoot him. Bullshit. Tamir Rice, 12 years old, they kept referring to him as a man. But with this Dillon dude, 21 years old, they keep referring to him and making it seem like he's a kid and a child. See, we don't get the mentally ill thing. When we do something, it's black culture. They ain't never said that Mike Brown was mentally ill or something. Oh, it's black culture made him beat up Darren Wilson. You couldn't see the scratches, you couldn't see the marks, but he did beat him up. It's a different narrative. And when they get us, they don't give us the lone wolf narrative. Dillon had a support group on Facebook. I want to see that. because I'm getting a lot of information on dude. And that's another thing. He used, I'm going to get on that in a minute, about his racial slurs. I'm going to get on that in a minute, but I do want to make a point. With Dylan, they keep using the lone wolf narrative. They're not targeting Dylan's roommate. Dylan had a roommate. They're not really targeting him. They're not targeting his dad who gave him the gun. When black folks do something, if a black person did this, do you know, and we all know, the whole block would be arrested. They would arrest the whole neighborhood for being accomplices. If you gave a nigga gas money, they arrest you for giving a nigga gas money. Nigga, you were accomplice. You gonna get the same charge. They give us the all-in charges. Man, his parents would be arrested. His dad would be arrested for giving him the gun. Dude, y'all saw it in Boston, and not Boston, Baltimore. When that dude shot the cop up there in New York, the dude from Baltimore, they were talking black guerrilla family. Everything we do, everything one black person does, oh, it's the black guerrilla family. They kept saying black guerrilla family, it's the Crips, it's the Bloods, it's Diana Ross and the Supremes, it's every Negro group you can think of. They would arrest every nigga that you knew. Dude, if your mama cook you breakfast before you shot somebody, they'll arrest your mom for being an accomplice, or you gave him the sustenance to kill those innocent people. You going to jail too, mom. Man, they would arrest everybody you knew. But they give them the lone wolf treatment. Oh, he was by himself. Oh man, they dig into our background. Oh, your grandma was she was part of the Black Panthers. Oh, your great-great-grandma was a runaway slave. You got a family full of criminals. But what's interesting now, they're trying to change the narrative. Even though this guy clearly got up in a church and said, hey, I'm here to shoot black people. The news outlets, they're sweeping that under the rug. They're sweeping that. You see how they're sweeping that under the rug? The white supremacist element? They are sweeping that under the rug. On Fox News, they're talking about, oh, this was an attack on Christians. This was a Christian attack. It wasn't no Christian attack. This dude was very specific about who he was attacking. They're trying their damnedest to change the narrative. Don't let them. Don't let them. Black folks are going to have to practice the Second Amendment, man. You're going to have to exercise your Second Amendment rights because you got terrorists like this. You're going to have your churches protected. You're going to have to start getting that code of conduct. Code number 1. Stop hopping on TV talking about you forgive these people who harm you. They keep trying to downplay the white supremacist aspect. I've seen people get on the news, well, it ain't really about race. This is about human beings. The dude got up and said, I'm here to shoot black people. How much do you need to see if this is about race or not? He wasn't shooting humans or just humans. The only humans he was shooting were black people. Those are the only humans he was shooting. And he had those Confederate flags on the car. And that's another thing, too. People are talking about where he had black friends. He had a Facebook and he had black friends on his Facebook, but and some of his white schoolmates were saying, well, he used to say racial jokes. And that's another thing with you Negroes out there. Y'all niggas sit up and y'all co-sign your little low-key white supremacist friend saying nigger around you. And making it, that's the homie. He can say it. I ain't tripping. Y'all sit up and let these people, these undercover white supremacists, act like they're down, making their little nigger jokes and all this old stuff. Where's Moose Boy? Do I need to ban him? I don't see Moose Boy because I'm going to ban him. Somebody said I need to ban somebody named Moose Boy because I do want to make a point here. I don't see no Moose Boy in the room. Okay, I see him. So people are saying Moose Boy's trolling, so I will ban Moose Boy. But like I said, man, y'all sit up and let y'all little white friends who are low-key white supremacists make all these little nigger jokes and, you know, they throw you a couple of yo, yo, yo and act like they're down. And this is what they're harboring. Y'all give them a pass and y'all let them get comfortable enough to start attacking. That's why I never co-signed Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber was on tape with his little white friends making little nigger jokes and all that, but now he's all around black rappers and all that. I don't co-sign that. But this is the situation, and I saw this on the news too. A lot of black people hopping on TV, confused. A lot of black people are actually confused or pretending to be confused. Black folks getting on TV like, well, I'm trying to make out why this happened. We just trying to figure out what would make a person do this. Why did this happen? Why? I've seen black person after black person after black person after black person get on TV talking about why. Why did this happen? Let me tell you why, which is what I've been saying for the longest. You live in a system, and I want y'all to listen close so you're not confused. Let me quote Neely Lee Fuller. If you don't understand white supremacy and how it works, everything else will only confuse you. Let me quote him first. But the reason why that white supremacist went up in that church and slaughtered all of those innocent black people who sat up there praying with him is because you live in a system dominated by the religion of white supremacy, and blackness is despised and marginalized, and there are white supremacists who don't like you, and they have the power to do harm to you in this system of white supremacy. That's a harsh reality to just deal with. That's why. See, the thing is, a lot of Negroes out here, this situation was very much in your face. It didn't give you a chance to wiggle out and make excuses for white supremacy. Because what happens is that a lot of black folks, you look for excuses to make to not deal with white supremacy. So whenever a black kid gets shot, you say some shit like, well, he should have pulled his pants up. He should not have been sagging. Or if a race soldier attacks a little girl trying to swim, well, she shouldn't have been mouthing off now. If she just kept her mouth shut and cooperate, these kids out here. See, you can't coon your way out of this. So when you see Mike Brown get shot, well, he shouldn't have been stealing them cigars. He's a thief. And that's what happened when you're a thief. You stealing cigars and you gonna fight with the gun. When Tamir Rice got shot, you had coons. Well, he shouldn't have been out there with no toy gun. You know, you out there playing with a gun pointed at folks. You should have been in the house. See, y'all made excuses for white supremacy all up until this point. Y'all kept making y'all little coon excuses. Black folks getting targeted. Now with this, wasn't nobody sagging, wasn't nobody stealing, wasn't nobody mouthing off, wasn't nobody out here in the streets where they weren't supposed to be. You were in a so-called sanctuary place, and a white supremacist still came up and killed black folks simply because they were black. And you trying to sit up and say why? Because no, there's no way. You want to know why. You want to know when people say, I want to know why. No, you want an excuse to wiggle out of dealing with white supremacy. You want an excuse to wiggle out of dealing with white supremacy. That's what it is. I just want to know why. Why did it happen? I know that I'm trying to make sense of it. No, you're looking for an excuse to not deal with white supremacy. White supremacy happened. That's why a lot of black folks will jump on that. Well, he crazy. We're gonna pray for him. Now you gonna just go full coon. We didn't need to pray for him. I think he mentally ill. We just gonna pray for him. Jesus said, "Shut up, niggas. Shut up." I'm so sick of seeing these buck dancing niggas on TV with that pole mouth bullshit. You live in a system of white supremacy. Strap up and protect yourself from these terrorists that's so bold and brazen now. They're coming up in churches shooting you. Do what, mentally ill? Get off that mentally ill shit. My God. Black folks, man, we gotta stop falling for the okey doke. People, it's 2015 and we're letting people hustle us with religion. I saw a documentary. There's a documentary. It's about Uganda. You guys can see it on Netflix. I can't think of the name, but it's a documentary about Uganda, about how these missionaries go over to Uganda and they try to convert people, and then they come over there and basically take control of certain parts of the land. And I was watching this documentary, and they were these little white missionaries who were basically suspected white supremacists going around converting people, trying to get them to deceptively become Christians so they can build churches and basically funnel money to some of these so-called missionary organizations. They get to build little places over there so they can funnel money for themselves. That's why those missionaries been over there in Africa for the last 400 years, and those places get poorer and poorer. But it was just so deceptive watching them. Basically, the white supremacists, they create the circumstances where people are impoverished, where people are economically deprived. They poison the well, so to speak, in places like Africa and places like Uganda over there. They decimate the place indirectly through colonization and just through a lot of economic hitman type tactics. Then they go over there with the missionaries like they're doing a favor. Like, hey, man, we see you guys are poor. I got some sandwiches in my backpack, but before I give you this sandwich, have you ever heard of Jesus in the Word? He's white. He looks like one of the Bee Gees. He's real cool. And Jesus told me to bring you these sandwiches. So they go over there selling white Jesus. And these people are like hungry, like, well, shit. Would Jesus give me some mayonnaise and mustard on that sandwich? Sure, Jesus will give you that. So you convert people, you hustle them. They hustle the people. In this documentary, they're doing that through the whole documentary. I'm just yelling at the screen. It's called God Loves Uganda. Watch this. It'll make your blood boil if you just know the hustle that these assholes are doing over there, man. It's such a scam. It's such a scam. And we got to stop going for that. We got to stop going for the okie doke. Say I caused the stir on the radio. Are they still talking about me on the radio over there? Hold on, let me see.
To benefit in the long term, everybody must have everything right now, and to hell with the consequences. Here's some of the things that the Pope said on renewable.
Oh, they're talking about something else. Are they still talking about me over there in the UK? Because I was going in. Yeah, that's why Mugabe was getting it in. And you know what's funny? I saw some footage of the Dylan dude, the shooter earlier. You know, they had him in a bulletproof vest. His ass didn't have no cuffs on. In the footage I saw, now they've been moving him from place to place. But I noticed that's another thing, too. They let these motherfuckers walk around all casual. He has a bulletproof vest on with no damn handcuffs. I'm like, shit. Man, we get a damn jaywalking ticket. They got us in cuffs. Man, they had Chad Ochocinco cuffed up. Man, they had him looking like Silence of the Lambs. Yeah, I saw that. The dude didn't have no cuffs. They did that with Jeffrey Dahmer. If y'all remember Jeffrey Dahmer, there was this serial killer, this white serial killer, white supremacist basically, because he was targeting a lot of black people. Jeffrey Dahmer, some of y'all might not be old enough to know, but there was this little suspected white supremacist serial killer named Jeffrey Dahmer. I think he lived in Milwaukee. Crazy as cat shit. Jeffrey Dahmer used to lure gay black men in his apartment, kill them, and then eat them. And this motherfucker was just eating black folks like they were goddamn chicken nuggets for years. It just went for years doing this. And then, how did they catch that fucking weirdo? I think somebody got away. It was some dude woke up, I think half his ass was bitten off, and he ran the fuck out the house. But Jeffrey Dahmer, he was a serial killer, just killed dozens of people. And this motherfucker was in court. They would have Jeffrey Dahmer walking around all casual, no handcuffs or nothing. He just walking around just chilling. Yeah, this motherfucker had a refrigerator full of damn arms and asses and legs and shit. Yeah, they found all types of body parts in his house, and he's walking around with no handcuffs. Crazy as cat shit. Let's see who's on the phone. What's up? Who's calling? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yo, what's up? Who's this?
This is Dayon from Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Oh, because you out there in South Carolina, man. So, are you near Charleston?
No, we're in the upper state, but Charleston just 2 or 3 hours away.
Okay, what's the vibe out there like, brother?
Man, it's like, man, mostly our black people out here, just basically just cooning, the same old. When the last killing happened, I knew somebody that was friends with the cousin, and it's just on that, like, fame type of shit, just, saying, like, oh, I knew him, and it's just, we're going to post for a day or two, and then it's going to be, like, over. Nobody ain't, really going to say much about it, because I was watching the video, and they was out there holding hands and praying, and it's like, when will we finally learn, like, we can't keep praying. We can't coon our way out of it. We just got to really stand up and be like, we tired of it, and we got to handle our business, defend for our own.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because, I'm 18, and I just graduated high school, and I was having a conversation with my friend the other day. I was like, what was we was talking about? We was just talking about killings, white supremacy, and stuff like that. And he was basically cooning, and I was like, are you scared of the white man? And he was like, no, I'm not scared of the white man. No, I was like, are you scared of the institutions that the white man got in place for you if you ever get out of line?
Right.
And he started filibustering. Well, I mean, who wouldn't be scared? I was like, dude, we don't got no time to be scared at this point.
At all, man. I mean, they're already doing shit to us. If they're getting that bold, the only option you have is to protect yourself or just be suicidal and just bow down and die. Because that's what a lot of these buck dancing niggas sound like. They sound suicidal. With all that,
yeah.
We just gonna pray the bullets away. Well, just take me to heaven. Ooh, takes me to heaven and shoots me. That's what these niggas are on now. I ain't on that. I ain't on that at all. And I ain't trying to sit up in no prayer circle and all that. These white supremacists, when they come up in these churches and they're trying to be bold with these little terror plots, they need to forget being prayed up. They need to be sprayed up. Then I'll pray later. You dig?
Yes, yeah. And if we gonna pray, let's pray in private. Don't be getting on camera and national TV on that, shucking and jiving and stuff.
Exactly.
Do it in private if you're gonna do it.
Exactly. Real talk.
But put on your game face when we get out here on the cameras. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, indeed, man. Thank you so much, brother. Yeah, that's the thing, man. I always say this, man. You don't see no white preachers coming around when a black person does something to somebody in a white community. I would like to see any time in history when a white preacher has come out and said, hey, let's forgive these black folks for doing something to us. I would like to see any instance where that has happened. I've never in my life seen that. If it has happened, please somebody point that out to me where a white preacher from a church has come out and said, hey, we forgive the black people who did this to us. We forgive you. We gonna pray for you. I ain't never seen that. But when it happens to us, it happens all the time with us. We go out there forgiving people all the time. That's slavish. Somebody asked me, because I said, hey, we need to cut that slave shit out. And somebody was like, well, how is that being a slave? Because slaves were taught to forgive people who harmed you. Slaves were taught to forgive massa for beating you. Turn the other cheek when massa beats you. If somebody hurts you, who's white, just turn the other cheek. Now, you don't turn the other cheek with a black person. But you turn the other cheek when it's a white person. That's a slave. That's a slave mentality. That's nothing more, nothing less. You ain't no super Christian. You try to hide behind some type of honorable Christian values. No, you're not. You're not. You're not. You're just a coon. You're just a slave. Nothing more, nothing less. And young people out here, don't let your parents and all these people, don't let them get you caught up and have your guard down dealing with these white supremacists. You are in a system of white supremacy. It ain't about gun control. It ain't about religious this, because these white supremacists, they're not practicing your religion. That's what I told people on Twitter. These white supremacists don't give a shit about you praying. We just gonna pray and love. I've had some white supremacists hit me up on Twitter talking about, well, we gotta fix this with love and prayer and Jesus. I said, if you don't get your ass off, who are you talking to? Well, Dr. Martin Luther King said love and pray. Well, y'all killed him. Since you like quoting Dr. King, well, he loved and prayed with you and you killed him anyway. So we got to protect ourselves. We got to practice that Second Amendment. That's what's up, It's So Gone. We got to practice that Second Amendment. Let's see who we got here. What's up? Who's calling?
Hey, what's going on, Tariq? This is Joe in Atlanta.
What's up, Joe? What's on your mind?
Hey, now I was following you on Twitter most of the day today, and thank you for taking my call, but this situation don't surprise me at all.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, me too.
This is nothing.
Go ahead.
What you say, brother?
Yeah, I'm not shocked either, brother.
No, I was going to say, if you're shocked by this, you don't understand white supremacy.
Mm-hmm.
You don't understand that these people, for them, this is a religion.
Yes.
And like you said on Twitter, this is just a jihad.
Yeah.
And so what black people, what our people fail to realize is how ingrained white supremacy is in these people's minds. It's second nature.
It is. And you know, let me chime in. Let me chime in with you, brother. And I'm gonna let you finish. But I wanted, before I lost my point. Not only white supremacy is the only religion in these people's mind, and black folks don't understand that. They say Christian, and Christianity is a facade to the white supremacists. That's nothing more than a facade. They ain't never practiced no damn Christianity. Also, we had Christianity in Ethiopia thousands of years before the white supremacists got a hold of it. But black people think because the white supremacists brought us a modern incarnation of a fake Christianity, we think that if we just be hardcore Christians, then we're going to relate to them. But they have never related to Christianity because they don't give a fuck about that. Their religion is white supremacy. It's a religion to them. And black folks really need to get that in their brain.
Tariq, I'm going to say something that you said real quick, and I'm going to say something that Dr. Nelly Fuller said.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Nelly Fuller said this. He said, white supremacy is a religion. The strongest religion on the planet is white supremacy.
Yes, indeed.
And I didn't understand that. And he said, what else is backed up by action? What else is backed up by action? Everything we do in all 9 areas of activity, human activity, from economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. Everything we do every day is backed up by the system of white supremacy. It's enforced by the system. Yeah. And there's something else that you said as well in regard to the system of white supremacy. It won't come to my mind right now. But our people really have to get a grip on that we are surrounded by a system of white supremacy. And the last thing I want to say is that there was something done by Henry Louis Gates. He did a documentary on Haiti and the Dominican Republic. And encourage people to go watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
And he showed how the Dominican Republic, how these people have adopted the system of white supremacy, and what they're doing to the Haitians, and even and not only to the Haitians, but the dark-skinned people like you were talking about yesterday on the show, and what they're doing to them. But that's all I want to say. I won't take up too much of your time, brother. Keep doing what you're doing, all right?
Much respect, man. Thank you so much.
All right, bud.
That's why, man, y'all need to join me on my live lecture tour, man. My Code of Conduct tour starts in a couple of weeks. It starts in Philadelphia. You go to TariqLive.com to get tickets. TariqLive.com. I will be in Philadelphia July 5th, Atlanta July 11th, and Detroit July 18th. And I want y'all to join me. We're going to have a very deep conversation in these cities about what we need to do, and we just need to. Y'all need to be there. In one of those 3 cities, wherever you are, y'all go there. Whatever's closer to you, you go there to that city. Go to TariqLive.com to get your tickets. Let me see who else we got. What's up? Who's calling?
Tariq. This is Tariq calling. Brooklyn.
Hey, Tony from Brooklyn. How you doing, fam?
I'm good, man. I'm a big fan of yours, man. I do want to I want to thank you, first of all, for helping me, become more aware of a lot of things, over the past couple of years. But
yes, sir.
This thing that's going on now, man, with this white supremacy thing, man, it's getting out of hand, man.
Yeah.
It's really getting out of hand. I kind of wanted to ask you a question because I know that there's a lot of young black people out here that are aware, and I think they may be afraid to do something as to fighting back or just going crazy and just start attacking white people. Do you think it's like a fear?
Well, the thing is, I don't want people to just go attacking random white people because all white people are not white supremacists. So I realize that. But the thing is, we have to understand that there's a threat looming. And you have people like these George Zimmermans out here, and you have these Dylans and people like that. There's a whole bunch of them out here that's just biding their time looking for a reason to attack us. These white women out here attacking our children. So what we are going to have to do, because now they've gotten bold, they've stepped their game up, they've been biding their time, so now they're making straight up and down bold attacks without using code words. We should have been in position to protect ourselves, because that shouldn't have happened. If we protect ourselves and people knew that we were protecting ourselves because the threat was always looming, this wouldn't have happened last night. That dude would have thought twice about going in that church if he knew that there were some people in there that were strapped up who was really about that life. We need to, and churches used to be armed back in the day. Let's be very clear. These churches knew back in the day. Look up a group called the Deacons of Self-Defense. There was brothers out here about that fucking life. And we're talking about them in Hidden Colors 4. These brothers were not playing because they knew what the threat was. But now we've been beaten into submission and beaten into passivity. We think if there's a white supremacist in our face being nice to us, then everything is cool. We don't understand how deceptive these people are. If there's a white person in blackface with a wig on, claiming to be black in our face, everything must be cool, like that Rachel whatever chick. So we keep falling for the okie doke, and we don't know how deceptive these white supremacists can be. They are extremely deceptive, and we got to protect ourselves from that. You feel me?
I feel you, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you so much.
Much respect, bro. Dude, I'm just talking about Second Amendment rights. I ain't talking about going out and attacking people. My man, Toussaint, he hit it on the nose. He said the church disarmed themselves. That's so true. Some of these black churches used to be strapped back in the day. Go look at the movie Rosewood, which was based on a true story. Everybody should see the movie Rosewood. It was directed by John Singleton, talked about a race riot that happened out there in Rosewood, Florida. Them brothers and sisters, they had their guns at the church, ready to go because they understood the threat. But we have such a contingency of coons, and what they've done, the white supremacists, they've infiltrated these churches, and they've they specifically go to these churches and spoil these people, giving these faith-based initiative monies and all that old shit, and they spoil these niggas and make them buck dance and coon. That's why the biggest coons have become the churches. That's why all the major coons come out of the churches now, because they bought them in the 80s. They got them bought and paid for in the 80s, starting in the 80s. He started that to disarm black people. They started that in the 80s. So this is we start seeing these, whenever there was a situation that popped off, they would roll out the coon preacher to calm everybody down. But black folks used to, black folks in the church back in the day, they didn't play games like that. Now, the black church is used as PR for people who want to hustle the black community. So whenever somebody wants to get elected, you go down to the black church, sing Amazing Grace on camera for 2 minutes, and then take a few photo ops, and then get your ass on, and then they'll vote for you. Or they'll send Donald Sterling's little racist ass down to the church, and everybody a coon and buck dance around him. So the black church, man, it's been infiltrated by the white supremacists heavily. And now the white extremists are saying, well, look, we ain't going to let the black church be a sanctuary for you. The white supremacists just let you know, the black church, you thought that was a sanctuary. You ain't safe there no more. I am recording. They said, we ain't letting you you ain't getting no sanctuary. You thought you were safe in these churches. You ain't safe there no more. We'll get you there too. So now they're going to force you to stand up and deal with white supremacy. That Dylan dude, especially a place like that has so much historical significance. See, we underestimate how these white supremacists think. We underestimate how these white supremacists think. They're real bold. They don't give a shit about you. They're going to attack you because you're black. They don't like you because you're black. So you need to just say, hey, look, this is the reality. How can we protect our families, our children, our church members? Because there was a case where some dude, some years ago, there was a white dude who went to a white church, and I think he knew somebody there, and he tried to shoot somebody at church, but there was somebody, an off-duty cop in the church who was strapped, and the cop who was off-duty shot the dude. So these people be going up in their own churches strapped up. So the white people, they in their own churches strapped the hell up. And another thing too, see, we're the kumbaya people. We let anybody come in. Let me tell you something. If a black person showed up to a white church on a Wednesday talking about, I want to do some Bible study, you know how fast they would have called the cops on his ass? Do you know how fast they would have called the police on his ass? You go up in a white church, hey, praise the Lord. I just want to come in. I don't know nobody, and I know this is kind of weird, but heard you guys having Bible study. They would have been like, look, 911, there's a big Negro in here. He's about 9 feet tall. You know, the white supremacists love exaggerate. He's 9 feet tall. He has a rocket launcher. Yeah, he has a rocket launcher. He has, he's big and scary. We fear for our lives. Yeah. They would have called and told all types of lies on your ass and made the lie real bold so the cops can come blazing. They would have called the cops on your black ass in a minute. You go in there in a 3-piece suit with a Bible. Oh, he has on gang colors. He has on gang colors, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think he might be part of the black gorilla family. Yeah. Comes. He's armed. Yeah. They would have told all types of lies on your ass. So when the cops showed up, they just came shooting. Try walking up in their church. We walk, hey, come on, weird looking white dude. Come on, weird looking white dude with dirty Timberlands and a backpack, looking crazy as cat shit. Come on in here. Oh, man, my people. Fuck. Y'all don't understand white supremacy. Y'all really don't get it. If I saw that motherfucker walk up in my church, I would have made his ass leave. Some weird dude. Come on. This weird ass dude, he looks crazy. He looks insane. He looks weird in the face. He showed up with a backpack and some dirty ass shoes. Showed up at your church talking about Bible study. Like, with that crazy bowl cut hairstyle. Oh, man. Just randomly show up. Let me tell you something. This dude, this Dylan dude, see, we black folks got to get off that passive shit. This Dylan dude, he got arrested some months earlier for being at the mall looking weird. He was at the mall all dressed crazy, dressed in black, around the mall asking questions, asking like when a certain people get off work and all this. They hurry up and call the cops on his ass. He looked like he was on some bullshit. He was at the mall. They called the cops on his ass. He's like, hey, there's a weird motherfucker up in this mall asking some questions. Y'all need to come get him. And he got arrested. And he got arrested a second time for going back to that mall because they said, don't bring your little crazy looking ass back up here no more. But he went back to the mall, then they arrested him again for trespassing. So they had enough sense to look at this motherfucker and see something wasn't right. Hey, what's he doing? Dressed all funny, walking around here looking, no, hey, come get this motherfucker. But he walk up in the church, we sit up and let him sit up in there in open arms with a backpack and some dirty ass shoes looking like he's up to no good, man. We got to have decorum, man. We got to stop everything with a white face. We got that slave shit. Oh, good. Well, he might have some money. Ooh. And I'm not trying to disrespect the brothers and sisters at the church. I'm not. My heart goes to them. Again, I know we have a certain humanity that makes us want to take care of people and all that, but we are in war right now. We are in war right now. And again, I'm not disrespecting the family at all, man. Much respect to the family and the brothers and sisters who lost their lives. They didn't deserve that at all. What's up? Who's calling?
Hey, what's going on? It's Mike.
Hey, Mike. What's going on, fam?
Hey, what's going on? I just big fan. I just wanted to remind you that you and the listeners, even though I'm not a religious guy myself, a lot of these white supremacist members tend to be sort of members of Christian cults themselves.
Yeah.
And not to take up too much time, but that is a talking point. So if we want to talk about Christianity, this, that, and the other, a lot of these guys are part of very radical, very outspoken Christian groups.
Right.
And I'm not sure if you heard in Alabama. Okay, all right.
Yeah, I know about all these little white supremacists.
The cops in Alabama. There was just two cops just found out were members of the KKK. But thanks.
Yeah, thank you, brother. But yeah. They pretend, and I always say they pretend to be part of some Christian group. You dig? And they get the Bible and then reinterpret certain things and in their own little white supremacist words. So if you're doing all that, you're taking shit that's in the Bible and then flipping it to some shit where it don't mean nothing. They get some shit like, well, the Bible says Jonah was in the belly of the whale. That means you're living around niggers. What? The fuck does that Jonah in the whale? The whale represents the niggers. And Mike Brown was a whale, and we're Jonah. So they flip it into some white supremacist bullshit. Ain't got nothing to do with no Christianity. Everything they get, they gonna flip into some white supremacy. So their religion is white supremacy. They disguise the shit behind certain Christian radical religions and all that, but their religion is white supremacy. With that whole curse of Ham shit. Man. And that's good that the church had that camera. That's good. But man, these black churches need to be get their Second Amendment game together, because now you don't know if there's going to be copycat killers. If you ain't safe in the church no more, family. They did it, and I talked about this in that interview I did earlier. This guy was interviewing me in the UK, and the lady, one of the radio hosts, just tweeted me. She's like, there's a lot of responses coming in from me being on there. I really want y'all to hear the interview, man. It's just real good stuff. And the guy was telling me, he's like, well, Tariq, do you think there's been progress made, right? I'm like, hell no. Progress? Yes, Tariq, hasn't there been racial progress made? Dude, in the 1960s, there were riots all over the place, and the 4 black girls got blown up in a damn black church by a white supremacist. It's 2015. This year alone, there were riots all over the country, and black folks just got shot up in a church last night by white supremacists. What progress are you talking about? What progress have we made? We just went in a big ass circle. And then the dude's answer to me was, well, you got a black president. So, putting a black president who ain't got no power trickling down or no progress trickling down to the black masses means nothing. That's the whole con game. You want to act like we got progress because Barack Obama has progress for himself as an individual, but collectively, there's no progress for us. I really want y'all to hear this interview. Shout out to Mark Lamont Hill. CNN, they emailed me earlier. CNN, they've been emailing me all day. I don't know what they want to do. They want to do an interview. I don't know what they want to do, but I'm telling the real deal. What's this lady? Let me see if she emailed me back. Hold on. Yeah, it's somebody, one of the producers from CNN. They're going to email me back in the morning. I don't know what they want to do. I don't know. Let's see who we got on the phone. What's up? Who's calling?
What's up, Tariq?
What's up, fam? Where you calling from?
This is Morgan from Fresno again, calling you, brother. What's up, man?
What city you in, brother?
I'm in Fresno, California.
Fresno,
man.
there you go. So what's on your mind, brother?
I just see all this stuff going on, man, and it's just making me be. I'm already cautious, but
yeah,
it makes me just want to be more cautious and just, it's not a game,
Yeah, it's not a game, man. It's real serious out here, brother. Your phone is messing up, so I'll have you call back in a minute. My man's phone was kind of going in and out. Let me see who we got here. What's up? Who's calling? Hello?
Hello, this is Tariq.
This is Tariq. Who's this?
Yo, what's up, man? This is Jonathan calling out of North Carolina, man. What's up, man?
Hey, Jonathan, North Carolina, man. What's on your mind, John?
Yeah, man. I'm just, thinking about the situation that's going on in, South Carolina right now.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Everything, just in turmoil, and black people are not focusing on getting their money together and not doing anything right. And, I work 2 jobs right now. I'm 22 years old, and, I'm trying to go back to school, trying to better myself, but it seems like every time you try to deal with, racism, white supremacy, it's always in front of you. So, yeah. I don't know what to think right now.
Yeah, man, we really, man, the bottom line, we have to empower ourselves, and we got to do that with a code, because these white supremacists, they're operating in code. Now, this guy tonight, he broke the main code of white supremacy and just went full out white supremacy. So yeah. He broke the code, but they are in a position where they can break the code and just get bold and nothing can damage the system of white supremacy at this point because we're still not empowered, because now we're so subjugated. Even if they break the code, which is what he did, you got black people so broken, we'll make excuses for them breaking the code. We got black people out here still talking about they gonna pray for him and the Lord knows his heart. And we so fucking weak now, they've broken code telling you we're killing you because you black. Now what? Well, you don't know no better. All you need is my love and the Lord. So that's how broken we are, and that's how bold they're getting. And they know that we're broken. That's why they're getting bold like that. You feel me?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you. All right, man. Take it easy.
Much respect, brother. Yeah, old dude broke the code, but you can break the code now because we're broken. We're broken now, collectively. That's why they've been waiting to break the code. They don't want to have to talk in codes all the damn time. So now, man, this is a bad look. These niggas getting on TV, all this singing and Lord, Lord, you're gonna do something. I'm telling y'all, man, that's going to embolden some more white supremacists to do copycat shootings, man. Unfortunately, that's going to make them bolder because, man, we need to be standing up like, hey, I ain't praying right now. I want to protect myself. See, ain't nobody saying that. When we start saying, hey, I think I need to protect myself, then they'll back up a little bit. They'll think twice before they go. They're going for your weak spots, man. They're going to go to people who they know are going to be passive and who ain't going to do nothing. They're going to go to people who they know ain't strapped. So all that buck dancing these niggas are doing is not a good look. That's making the shit worse. Just like with Walter Scott. When Walter Scott got shot in the back and black folks, oh, Lord, we need to forgive, Lord. That's why I'm not shocked that this happened right out there in the same area. My God, man. Anyway, fam, let me get out of here. Let me go upstairs and deal with my children. All right, but it's been real, man. Again, I wanted to do a special show for tonight. So we did it, and you guys can listen to the playback and share this with people, man. Share this with the people on Facebook and Twitter and all that old stuff. And, you know, much respect, and my heart goes out to the family out there. I might try to get out there. You know, I got to get my tour together, but I do want to kind of reach out there and do some consoling for the families out there, man. It's such a horrible thing. But again, black folks, these white supremacists are not playing. You can sit up and deny and deflect and ignore these white supremacists and get on the coon train with the what about black on black crime, and you can do that all you want. That's not going to make these white supremacist bullets go away, man. Y'all better get serious. Let's get this code of conduct. Go to TariqLive.com to get tickets to join me live on tour, TariqLive.com, and go to HiddenColorsFilm.com as well. I'm going to holler, family, and peace.